Okay, we will start now. Thank you for all this insight. We see where you're from and what you work in. And I would like to give the floor to Michaela for the first case study in the first panel.
Yes, which is also no coincidence because we just today counted that Emad and I, we know us now for 10 years. And let me introduce him to you. He will bring the topic of how career guidance came to be in Egypt, in technical education in Egypt. But let me introduce you to him to you. He used to work for many years, for 12 years at GIZ staff in Egypt. GIZ is the German Development Corporation. For a program that has employment promotion program that had to do with TVET on the one part and career guidance on the other, or school to work transition, because career guidance is only one component of this. But Emad, you were managing this component and introduced career guidance for the first time in Egypt. Today you work for your own company or as a senior technical consultant. Your company name is Career Advisory Tools International, and yeah, as a consultant, like here in Jordan with us or for other organizations and places. And you are a certified NCDA career development trainer. NCDA is national, that is US Career Development Association, who, let's say, franchise their career development training courses. Yeah, so I give the floor to you to tell us about your experiences with introducing career guidance in technical education in Egypt.
Thank you so much, Michaela. Thank you to INBAS for this invitation. I'm really delighted to be part of the summer school. This is first time for me to join your activity here in regards to conferencing and so. And I'm glad actually to present to you our story. Maybe I would say, as Michaela mentioned, so it's a Michaela and my story within the Egyptian context, presenting career guidance, career education in TVET schools. Yeah, so let me hope that my story is interesting. It started actually in late 2011, just after what's called the Arab Spring, the January Revolution in 2011. So we started a little bit late with a project funded by the German government, implemented by Ministry of Education and GIZ, German International Cooperation. We started actually with the aim of promote employment, and we have done certain activities to validate what could be the best approach then. And we found out that there was a policy paper has been created by a national committee supported by ETF between 2007 and 2010. And this policy paper showed that to introduce career guidance and counseling services, there are different approaches and different constraints. And one of the recommended approach is school-based approach or curriculum-based approach. We found at that time that, yeah, we found our objective. Let's go and proceed with the curriculum-based approach to provide career education in TVET in Egypt. We thought that it will be easy, but actually it was completely the opposite, because it has included, a lot of challenges in presenting at the implementation level. What does it mean, career guidance and counseling, to the Arab world in Egypt, and also in a context of Ministry of Education? We have found a lot of challenges, frankly speaking, in terms of culture aspects and contextual aspects. So, for example, one of these challenges started actually with, what does it mean, career guidance? And presenting this in Arabic language in the context of education, it was really challenging because we were talking like in Arabic, when we say career guidance, then people understand it as, you talk about TVET. You are talking about the mentorship and supervision that we do for teachers. No, this is not what we mean. As the definition is, yes, we know. Don't complete it, we know it. You know, so it was always challenging to come up with a bridge between the concept as it is, as acknowledged, internationally, and what is in mind of the people regarding to the culture and the context that they are working on. So we had to find our way and break out to rename it in a way that people can accept it, can understand it, self-explanatory. So we decided to come up with the wider term school to work transition. And actually, this was also a good move because it gave us some open doors to include more of services that could be also providing a comprehensive approach for career guidance and counseling. Another thing, actually, when we decided to talk about curriculum-based approach, also we got to another challenge, like should we do a standalone curriculum, or should be cross-cutting among curricula in TVET? And we said, okay, let's use the dual system approach to include this so we get more comprehensive, but we found out, unfortunately, only 2% of TVET schools is implementing the dual education approach. So we also, it was also another challenge. But we have decided to take our adventure. And Mishaila, you remember that we said, this is 50-50 chance. We may success, we may fail, but we decided to get this adventure and get the risk and moved along. Another actually a challenge we face also because of we talk about providing career education in TVET schools within the Arab Egyptian context, we face a lot of problems as well regarding the role of teacher versus facilitator or counselor. And we decided, no, this is not the time for counselors now. Let's consider only facilitation. But this also was not easy because teachers within this context, they usually used to dictate things to students. They used to teach them. They used to be the ones who know everything, not the student. Even if we talk about the life of the student, him or herself, teachers usually tended to say, we are more knowledgeable, we are more experienced, we are elder in the age, we are more senior, so we know better, even in their lives. Students' lives. So it was also another challenge. And we tried to bridge the role of the facilitator to be already embedded into their performance. And I can remember one of after long time trainings and so on. I can remember one of the teachers came during one of the trainings we were doing, and he says, "Hey, Emad, I'm got confused. Students think that I have a schizophrenia." I said, "What is that?" He said, "Look, you taught us. While we providing the sessions of career guidance, we use the facilitator role." But actually, I cannot cope doing this in my main subject. I'm really teaching them. It was car mechanics at the time. So same students think like, are you Mr. Muhammad that we are dealing with in the career guidance session, or vice versa? So I'm a little bit struggles between the two roles. And it was really a nice discussion because understanding.
That was the moment when I knew they have it. They got it. They know the difference between the roles. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was a very nice discussion because it ended up like, now you see the pros and cons of each approach. Now you can see what's better for your students. So you can decide by yourself what to do in that regard. So such kind of, contextual issues is really something in providing career education, as mentioned, like Western concepts to the Eastern countries. Additional challenge, frankly speaking, not only of the definition, sorry, not only on the term of career guidance, but also in other terms, like when we talk about career values. Career values, it's misunderstood completely in our context. And it was a really tough discussion and tough time, and we faced a lot of problems to bridge the definition of work values to the Egyptian context. And because it was somehow overlapping between the absolute values, like, you know, if we talk about love, if we talk about respecting God, if we talk about, you know, something like that, loyal to the nation and so on. Yeah, this is values, but this is not the work values. And it was a really tough discussion, and we try to find ways and means to work it out and come up with another term which is understood to the context in Egypt, might not be the correct in terms of other aspects, other cultures, but this is the way that people said, aha, now we understand what you are talking about. So we came up with a term like, you know, the motives or the drivers that makes you prioritize a job against another. So
the inner drives.
Or drives, yeah, exactly. So we usually faced a lot of struggles like that. And again, when we said coaching, yeah, I know time, but also when we come to provide coaching for the teachers, we also faced, I mean, the facilitators, sorry, we faced also a lot of problems like, you know, coaching or mentoring or supervising. So this was really a real discussions. I would like to show some, list some lesson learned. So one of them actually I have already presented, which is how to adjust, how to integrate the contextual aspects into the international concepts. So this was an example. Another lesson learned actually is related to the practitioners, the facilitators themselves. As much as they are really dedicated, as much as they can provide the services, being one-to-one counseling, being in education, being whatever, online, whatever, as long as the practitioners are really engaged, this makes difference. And I found, like, you know, I phrase it like, if they serve with love, then the impact will be big. And love here, it's not only the absolute meaning of love, but also I get the first letters to explain some, you know, meanings as well. So love in selection, for me, it means select people who likes and able to learn, whom are obliged, has value and appreciate value, and enthusiastic. So those are the four main criteria for selecting good counselors or facilitators as well. When we go to the phase of continuity of the work, then still we need the love, L-O-V-E. We need to see those who are loyal to the concept. We need to see and find people who are already obsessed with the services, so they are really like it and have resistance in it. Also, they have some time to volunteer and value their volunteerism, because still you need somebody who's really passionate about something, doing it in that way, and should be also enterprising, accept the risk of being rejected, also you know, accept taking a calculated risk and so on within their context.
We have to come to a close now, Emad. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm done anyways. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
From my own observation, I can add that you had a great, you know, creativity in translating meaning, like also concepts and approaches into to translate them into images, games, stories, to translate these concepts. I think that was one
Yeah, I think this
success factor and lesson learned for me, how to translate a concept that is not where people do not have any experience with or no role model with to different worlds.
Yeah, we used scenes of the drama. We used pictures who are already in the media and social media. We were really, it was a collective work in ways, and listening to the partners is a key factor as well. Thank you.
I took some notes and I hope we can share them or discuss them again in the panel round, but we have to move on with the next presentation, right?
Yeah,
Sabine?
Thank you very much, Emad Helmy. I really loved your explanation of love, and I'm sure we're gonna go back to this later on.